Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Lila Nishmasim Mirosus Bas Mordechai. Here's the Chevra in Manchester, Motzi Shabbos. Yosef Naiman from Monsey just joined at the beginning of Nedarim, flying to Eretz Yisrael, learning the Daf. Shalom Beracha. Shipping nachas from one of my recruits, Yirmiyah Weiss, in the B&H bus in the morning commute. Yisrael Goldstein, see you in Mirz Hashem next week. It was touch and go with Rabbi Yisrael. My boys like Dave Sharfman put this together. Here we go. You ready? Time for inspiration, not conversation. Is that better than the other one? You schmooze, you lose. This is the positive. Yitz Tendler, hi. Can you tell me if you have Atlanta Hever that you know about? There are a few guys in Atlanta. So yeah, somebody asked me yesterday if we have Hever in Vienna. Yes, we have Hever in Vienna. Get together in a WhatsApp group. We'll make it larger and better.
You can email me with the WhatsApp numbers and where they're from. And if they're kissing a group, they will be a group.
Okay, email Daf Barama to Yosef, and if there isn't a group, we'll create a group. Yesterday I was on the phone with Rabbi Shwed from Aldaf, actually a Zoom call for an hour, and he sent me these numbers. I was very excited about these numbers. Here you see in the Nedarim alone, 500,000 views on his app, Aldaf, the greatest Daf Yomi app, and it just shows that between Aldaf and YouTube, there's over 10,000 views. And that's not counting Kol HaShah and Torah Anytime and podcasts and the Sephardish one. What is it called? The one from... Unbelievable. Huh? Very, very chashuv. Okay. So... Huh? No, not an overlay. It's their own thing. We upload it to Aldaf. It's their own thing. Rabbi Isai, first of all, big news. Where the Siyumim in Miami is going to be in the original place. We couldn't get a better place, so we're staying there to alleviate some of the concerns. I spoke to Rabbi Ephraim Shapiro. Rabbi Ephraim Shapiro is speaking. He's an unbelievable speaker. I spoke to him for a very, very long time. The Kitzer, he goes to this place every week. MDY serves the entire klal, from Hasidim to modern Orthodox and everything in between. So, in terms of the hechsher, we're doing Hasidic meat, Hasidic sheirim, we're bringing our own mashgiach, and the Kitzer, it's kosher v'yosher and everything is great. The only issue is that it only holds about 500 people. We're right about the 500 range. So we're going to have to close the ticket sales pretty soon. There's only a few seats left. So that was the main reason why we wanted to move. And anything else was just not in the right location, too expensive, the kids are. So we're going back to the executive. All right. Be'ezer Hashem, we'll see you there. If someone made a neder that he won't benefit from fruit, I love this shaila. I love this sugya. I think it's an amazing topic that we're discussing. It's basically in the Ran more than the actual sugya, but it's on the sugya. So if somebody made a neder that he won't benefit from any fruit, Shalom Aleichem. What are you doing? From Deal, New Jersey. How you doing? You going to be in Miami also? Wow. Once we're saying Shalom Aleichem, what's your name?
Saul Stepner.
Saul Stepner from? Teaneck, New Jersey. Your son? What's Jack? Shalom Aleichem. Okay. We recognize the names. You sent in emails and pictures and things like that. Yeah. Beautiful. Huh? Step it up, Stepner. That was what.
That was your call out.
That was the thing in high school days. Huh?
For the donation, he said, step it up.
Ah, that's what it was. I'm the one that I thought it's a high school kind of thing. Okay. So you hear the Shaila Rabbi Stepner? Step it up, Stepner. Here's the Shaila. If a guy made a neder, he's not going to benefit from any fruit. It's an unbelievable case. He has a basket of fruit in his house. He says, I'm not going to benefit from it. Can you go into his house and take the fruit and start eating it? He says, I'm not going to benefit. I'm mudar enough from it. Basically, it's like hefker. Can you or can't you? Now, here's another Shaila. Let's say you could. But then he goes to a Rav and he undoes his entire neder. Now it becomes his again. Do you have to pay him? It's unbelievable Shaila. And based on this Shaila, it gets even better and better. Based on the Shaila, there's a situation where a guy goes to a Rav and he does hataras nedarim and he causes a bunch of kids in the world to be mamzerim based on his neder. I could go back, retroactively undo something, and make people mamzerim. I'm allowed to go to the Rav and undo my neder. It just so happens to be I'm creating mamzerim with that. It's unbelievable sugya. So we're holding like 8 and 9 lines from the bottom of Pedal Amud Beis. Sponsored. Oh, we have to do sponsors. Thank you. The anonymous for the koilo. Who else we have for the koilo? Supporting Torah, strengthening our bitachon. The Masech is sponsored in Sgula, Ketora, Tומכיה, Kיעקב, Via'al. And the Parnassa of the month, Leilu Nishmat Zechrya ben Moshe. It looks like we're getting rid of all these yomis. The sponsor yomis we're getting rid of. It looks like. I don't know. And the art of the month is sponsored the Refuas Chaim Tzvi ben Leah. MDYmonthly.com. A lot of people are doing MDY Monthly. That's what it is. I haven't seen some new people in a while, but yeah, everybody should join MDYmonthly.com and Givaldik. Okay, yeah, that was actually a very, very nice piece. Added a lot, able to support stuff. Great. Rabbi say here we are. New sugya. Kohanim ulevim nehenimli yitlu. If a person says, all kohanim, all levim, I have nothing to do with them, and of course he has produce and he has to give to the kohanim, levim, what they have coming, they could just go and take from him. It says in the Mishnah, the word yitlu, they could remove from his property what they need to remove. He shouldn't be giving them. Alma, says the Gemara, Toivas Hana ain't a mamad. So Toivas Hana is the concept where I have the right as a Yisrael to give to any kohen I feel like. That right is worth some money. This is Hana. I could give it, we had a few times, a grandfather could pay somebody that if he has a grandfather has a grandson that has a kohen, he himself is Yisrael, he could pay somebody to give the grandson truma. The Toivas Hana. Toivas Hana ain't a mamad. From the fact that these kohanim could come and take what they want, so you see that this Toivas Hana is not considered anything, otherwise they wouldn't be able to take. Ema Seifa, but in our own Mishnah, it contradicts itself. It says, kohanim elu, levim elu, nehenimli. What if the woman said that, or the person said, I won't benefit from this kohen cannot benefit from me, this particular family. So it says, Yitlu acherim, others should take. But these kohanim that he said can't benefit from him, not. Why not? Why can't they take from him? It's only Toivas Hana, and Toivas Hana is not considered money. It has no value. So you see from the fact that they can't take from him, those particular kohanim can't. So you see that does have value. Toivas Hana is considered money. I like the way the Gemara says loikash. It's not a kash at all. Our own Mishnah is 2 different mandamrim, which is very, very shver usually. But loikash. We have to say that there's a real machlokes here. Ha Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda. We have many times in Shas a machlokes between Rebbe and Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda, the son of Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi, the Sanya. Hagoynev tivlei shel chaveroi v'acholoi. If somebody stole tevel is fruit that Trumas and Maestros weren't taken from it. So we have our first piece here. Here's a goynev tevel. You can see in a sack you have tevel. You have all sorts of potato heads there. He did one of these. Okay, fine. Huh? Yeah. What do you think we're talking about here? What do you think you're talking about? A guy stole? We're talking about a Jew. A Jew stole. What does he pay back? He has to pay him the value of tevel. Now, let me show you this for a second. Here's a chart. Here's 100 apples. 100 apples at $1 an apple. You have about $100 worth of fruit. Over here we have 90 apples that are chulin. Let's call it 10 apples that are trumas and maisers. Now, truma and meiser is worth a little less than regular chulin. So for argument's sake, we'll say it's $8. $8 for 10 apples. Instead of $10, until you find the kayin, not every kayin, let's call it, just to be fair, $8. So how much does he have to pay? It says in the Gemara, read it. If somebody stole all 100 apples, in the 100 apples are mixed in truma, meiser, I don't know where, I don't know what. Mishalim loy, dmei tivloy. He pays how much? $100 or $98? What does the Olam say? 98. You're all wrong. Oh, but it says time out. It says mishalim dmei tivloy. Tevel. Tevel is all 100 is tevel. That's what it says. Oh, says Jonathan Stefansky, the part that's relevant to him. Very good. It's only the toivas hana. What's relevant to him? Only $1 worth. The little hana the little money that he could take, and it's a little bit of a benefit for him. Somebody could pay him $1 to give the 10 apples. That's what the Ganav stole from him. That $1. So Memela now he has to pay $91, not 98, not 100, 91. Big chiddush here. So when I first read it, it doesn't say that in the words. It says the meit tivla, you have to pay $100 or a minimum 98. No, says the Ran. The meit tivla toivas hana. Only the toivas hana, says the Ran. Divrei Rebbe. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yudah Omer, Eino Mishalem Elo Dmei Chulin Shaboy. Says Rabbi Yudah, no, I only have to pay $90. That's it. It's not yours. Who are you? You're Yisrael. You don't own those 10 apples. They're not yours. Forget about it. You didn't give it. You didn't give it. They're not yours. They're owned by a Kohen and Levi. That guy came along and stole those 10 apples. That's his problem. Let the Kohanim deal with him. They could sue him. But you can't sue him for anything. But what about the Toivas Hana? What about the $1? Oh, so Chayra says the Gemara, we have a machlokes here. Is that $1 something that he could sue or not? Maila, Bokum Ifligi, top of Pehei Yomadal. The Rebbe Sovar Toivas Hana, Mamoin, Rebbe Yosef, Rebbe Yudah Sovar Toivas Hana, Einei Mamoin. So that's it. So, again, we have a contradiction in the Mishnah. On the one hand, it says Toivas Hana is Mammon. On the other hand, it says Toivas Hana is Lav Mammon. Okay, here we have two mans wrong. We have Rebbe, Rebbe Yudah. Throughout Shas, they argue. Here's another argument in our Mishnah itself. The Mishnah goes according to two shitas. Toivas Hana, that little amount that he could demand, or not demand so much, but he could get, he could acquire. Somebody could give him $1 and say, "I'll give you $1." It's legal to bribe a Yisrael to give away the truma. He could accept that bribe. How much is that bribe worth? It's worth $1. Is that mamain or not mamain? Could I be mekadesh a woman with that money or not? It's a machlokes. Okay. Says Gemara Loi, the kula alma toivas hana ein mamain. What happens when the Gemara says Loi? Then I have a contradiction. I just got rid of the contradiction because I have a machlokes. The second I say Loi, it's not a machlokes. So now I have a contradiction in my Mishnah. My Mishnah on the one hand says Toivas Hana Mammon, the other hand says Toivas Hana Lav Mammon. Loi. There was nothing taken yet. The Truma, the Meiser wasn't removed. He never even made Truma or Meiser. So according to Rebbe, if it wasn't removed, it's no good. And according to Rabbi Yosef, it's as if he removed it. Which is very, very problematic. Why? But wait a minute. You're telling me Toivas Hana is not considered anything. Toivas Hana ein mamain mali hurmu mali loy hurmu. The truma doesn't belong to the Yisrael at all. Who cares if he removed it from the pile? He didn't remove it. It's not his. So if it's not the Yisrael, so why is the Ganav Chayav? What's the difference whether or not they removed the truma or not? It's never the Yisrael's. When I look at the pile of 100 apples, 10 of them are not the Yisrael's. So why in the world would the Ganav be Chayav dependent on if he took it the truma from Ma'aser or not? It's not dependent on that. So you're right. There's a weak attempt. Elahainu time of the Rebbe. So now you're right. Enochanami, logically, it makes no sense that the Ganav should have to pay for it. It's not the Yisrael, so why is the Ganav paying? So basically what the Gemara is saying here is, depends. You want to say that it's a Toivas Hana, that Toivas Hana is not money. So if it's not money, we have a problem. Then why does the Ganav have to pay? The answer is, the Ganav has to pay because it's a Knas. A Knas. He doesn't have to pay. Logically, he doesn't have to pay. He stole something from somebody that doesn't even own it. So he doesn't have to pay. So, Chacham said, we don't like this Ganav guy. We don't want guys running around stealing things. So we're going to punish him. We'll punish him and say that he has to pay.
He would still pay the common Levim, no? Maybe somebody owns it.
No, he doesn't have to pay the common Levim. No, it's Mamish and L'Toivim. Who's going to sue? You're the Kain or he's the Kain? Any Kain that comes say, pay me up. I don't know you. I know that guy. I want to give that guy. What?
Somebody, something.
Oh, yeah. So, but now we're forcing him to give. But they can't come and sue him. Over here, you insert all the jokes about Knesses. We'll do it a different time. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Sava, Kansura, Bonon, LaBalabayis, Keheched, Lushelativle. So just, maybe I could have written it down, but again, it goes, it's like a Memanavshach kind of thing. If you say, Toivas Hana, Lav Mamain, so then the Ganav doesn't have to pay. He didn't steal anything. But he has to pay as a Knas. And if you're going to say it is Mamain, so then what do we do with Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Yehuda? So he's going to say that now we punish the owner. Why does the owner have a pile of 100 apples that wasn't mafresh trumas and maasros? He should have immediately gone and been mafresh. Because he wasn't mafresh, comes a Ganav and does something. So now it's the owner's fault, sort of. We put the onus on him. He has to suffer. So you give a knas to the owner. Okay. The bottom line is, what's the bottom line? As I mentioned before. What? The Ganav didn't take anything.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he did take something. He did steal something. So you're right, I can knas the Balabais for doing something wrong.
Exactly.
But that doesn't get away from the fact that the Ganav did something wrong.
I know, but I could give a knas and I can say he doesn't have to pay. Because you're a bad guy, you don't deserve it. No.
Why is it at the expense of the Ganav?
No, it's not the expense. It's the expense of the Balabas that he doesn't get paid by the Ganav. You were at fault here that somebody stole it from you. So you don't get paid.
And you're at fault for stealing.
So what should he do with it?
Even if you made a mistake, I also did.
Correct.
You made a mistake.
Correct. I said, but I want to punish you. I don't want to punish him. I don't care about him now. I want to make sure you take care of your stuff. Lock up your bike. You don't lock up your bike, then somebody steals it, he's off scot-free. He's a bad guy. It's your problem. You take care of your stuff. I want to make sure you take care of your stuff. I hear what you said. Huh? Yeah, it's a different case. Okay. We want to fix the good guys. We want to make sure you guys take care of your trumas and maasros. The bad guys, the sociopaths, let them, somebody else will deal with them. Rav Omar. So now, but as I explained before, now we're back to step one, the question that Gemara had originally. The question was, we have a contradiction in our Mishnah. On the one hand, we see that Toivas Hana is considered Mamain. On the other hand, it's Lav Mamain. Which one is it? We try to say that there's a Machlokes in Toivas Hana. And now we're saying there's no Machlokes in Toivas Hana. So what's the pshat? Rav Omar, Shani Truma. At the end of the day, says the Gemara, it's considered mamay. According to Rava, mamay. And okay, so if it's mamay, shani truma dainu time the yitla karchay. So why could a kohen come and grab it? It's owned by the Yisrael. He has a right to this truma meiser. Tavis hana mamay. So the 10 apples that belong to kohanim, there's $1 in there that belongs to the Yisrael because he could decide which kohen gets it. So why could a kohen come and grab it against his will? Mishum the truma leichazia ela lekohanim. Because think about it, he loses his tavis hana here. What's tavis hana? I could give it to this kohen over that kohen, but in this case, you can't give it to any kohen because he's asur to all kohanim asur to him. So he doesn't have a tavis hana anymore. Mishum the truma leichazia lekohanim. V'kivin the asi lemisra alayim shavi afra ba'alma. Now his truma is asur to all kohanim, so now it's like hefker. So when a kohen comes and grabs it, he's grabbing hefker. He didn't grab anything from the Yisrael. If that's the case, again, Yisrael said it's asur. You can't have any benefit from it. Nobody can benefit from this stuff. So anybody could come and grab it. Any kohen could come and take it, and he loses his tavis hana from it. It's kafir ba'alma. It's like just hefker. Says the Ran, if so, but we have to have a big problem. Says the Ran. But what if he undoes his nether? He undoes his nether, so now it's not hefker anymore, and now any kohen that took it stole it from Yisrael. Because there's $1 in there that belongs to the Yisrael that the kohen took without permission. Yes, you're right, it's a nether. And he also says, I don't know if I remember seeing it here somewhere, he says maybe in here, that it's like avida da'asi, sort of. It's like, it's a known thing, everybody goes in zmatid in Nedarim. So you got to be careful. I think he might say it in this piece. It's this piece over here, this big long piece. It's a beautiful piece because he says, based on this, if a Yisrael says, my stuff I'm mudar enough for my stuff, I don't want to have anything to do with my stuff, then anybody could come against his will. He could stand and scream and say, don't touch my stuff. It's not yours anymore, it's hefker. I could come and grab your stuff. What about the fact that the Yisrael, whoever the guy is that was mafkir his stuff, could annul his nether, and now it comes out that whoever took his stuff is stealing. You hear the shaila? No, but the way a hatara works, it works retroactive. So I was sort of mafkir. I have a box of fruit. I said nobody in the world could benefit. I can't benefit. Sorry, not know it. I can't benefit from the fruit. So that in a way is saying I'm mafkir this whole box. Tomorrow I say, I didn't know XYZ, I didn't know you can't get fruit anymore, I wouldn't have done it. So the nether is annulled. The nether is annulled, then the box is not hefker anymore. It comes out it's not hefker. That's what the Ran, you're saying like the Ran. I don't hear the Ran.
It's not his anymore.
I can time out.
I'm not doing a box. I'm doing the
You
words that I
mafkir
said.
it already.
Yeah. So let's take another case.
It's not yours.
I hear what you're saying. That's what the Ran says. I don't understand them 100%. But anytime you do a hatara, it means you're undoing whatever you did before as if it never happened. So your hefker that you did today is nothing.
You could take off a nether something. They said, I'm not going to do something like this. It's something that's on you. Once you took this item and you said it's mafkir, it's hefker, it's not yours anymore. What are you undoing? You're undoing something that doesn't belong to you.
I hear what you're saying. I hear. As I Dr. Rab. So let's. What?
You say it didn't belong to you, that didn't exist. Exactly.
This is the
Time out. You didn't. All you did was the words that you said, Mendy. The words that you said never happened. Those words never happened. The Chacham erases the Chatchila.
Right. So if you had a kid out of it and it never happened.
So here, that's exactly. So listen to this unbelievable case. Rabbi says, this is beautiful. A guy tells a woman, I'm marrying you on condition, and he gave her kiddushin. He's Mekadosh. I read Mekadosh Li, a whole chasana. On condition that I don't have a nether. I don't have any Nedarim. I'm not this kind of guy that makes Nedarim. A week later, she finds out that he has a lot of Nedarim. So what's the halacha? She's not married. She's not married because he made a neder. He said, and he made a condition in the Kedushin. He said, if I have a neder, it's a t'nai in the Kedushin. If I have a neder, then the Kedushin is not a Kedushin. The halacha is, Eino Mekudeshes. So she went and she married another man. Because Eino Mekudeshes, she's not Mekudesh. She married a second guy. The first guy is very upset that she married a second guy. So he goes to her Rav and annuls the neder that he had. It turns out that when he married her, he didn't have any Nedarim. So she was Mekudesh to the first guy. And then she had a kid with the second guy. So the kid is a mamzer.
No, he had Nedarim.
He had Nedarim.
He didn't have a Tanai.
And he had a t'nai. And then he undid the neder. Undid the neder.
He had Nedarim. He had Nedarim when he
Yeah, he didn't have Nedarim because retroactively he didn't have. Chacham erases it lemafreya. It's an unbelievable situation. 10 years later, she has 6 kids in Cheder. They graduate in college, and then he goes to Rav and says, that neder I had in 1982, I want to undo. If I would have known this, Rav says, no problem, it's undone. And then we go back, we fast forward to the first wedding he had with this woman, and he said, I'm being mekadesh you on condition you don't have any t'naim. There's no t'naim now, because retroactive everything is removed. So she's mekadesh to the first one. And then 3 weeks later she married a second guy, because she thought she could, because it's an unbelievable thing. So by being mater and eder, I create mamzerim. That's a situation. It's no. So you should know what when the Rebbe said mamzer what? Yeah, retroactively.
It can't be paskin like that.
The Ran argues. The Ran tries to argue a little bit, but that's what the Rashba says.
In such a case, no Rav should be able to be matter.
The Rav doesn't know.
That's your job. If you're the Rav,
the Rav shouldn't be matter, right?
Hello, you can't just come in here like some. We're still gonna.
That Rav from Bnei Brak that gave the apartment to the guy below, that guy would for sure be mad. Okay, fine. And I just thought it's a beautiful sugya. Ayin in the Ran, Rafa Omar. It's shocking and great. These are the things I love. Anyway, Zakti Gemara. Says the Mishnah. Zakti Eli Mishnah, sponsored by Yoel Friedman, Nishmas, my dear father, Chaim Avram Shulam Yeruchim Ben Yisrael David Olah Shalom.
Even before, it's like not those who was never the Israelites.
To what?
Says the Mishnah. Let's go back there. Ooh, we're running out of time. Koinem. Remember, it's Geschmack. Is this the first time there? Okay. I knew you looked too familiar. Koinem she'eni oisal pi abba. Are you the only Ashkenazi in the entire deal? We don't talk about it. Koinem she'eni oisal pi abba val pi avicha val pi achi. So a woman says, I will never do anything for my father. We have a picture. We have a picture of Boisai. Check it out. An original. Here's the father fressing by the table, and she says, I like the art in the background. It's better than the one he had before. The MDY socks. There's a lot of detail here. A lot of detail. Tchelas. He has stuff all over his butt. His shirt is about to explode. MDY Biz. We have MDY pacifiers. You know that. There's blue and pink. Yeah. The yarmulke is on his eyes. All the detail. Okay. I'm not gonna. My father's not gonna benefit from me anymore. I did. And your father. I like this Mishnah a lot because it says, this is not Dvarim Shebeina Leveina. This is not Inu Nefesh. If the Shver can't come to the house ever again, if your father, your own father, it's garnish. It has nothing to do with us. Our relationship is intact. Adarab, maybe it's even better. I don't know. It certainly doesn't put a dent in anything. That's what the Mishnah says. Because if it creates friction, he should be able to be matter. The fact that your father can't come to my house, or either of our fathers, not a problem. Sheni Yoisa al Picha. Now, if she turns to her own husband and says, listen, I'm not going to do anything for you, my salary doesn't go to you, my cooking doesn't go to you, it doesn't even begin. Why doesn't it begin? Because a woman has a shibah to her husband, and she's mechuyev to do certain things for him, as we learned in Ksubis, all the different things, every day a certain amount, and this, takanas chachamim, not takanas chachamim, to help her, to help him, whatever the reason is, she has a shiva to him. Rebbe Kiva Omer Yofer. Rebbe Kiva says he's mechuyev to do a hafara here, even though she didn't have a right. She doesn't have a right on her actual ma'aseh dayan that she makes. Shemot hadif olav Yosef min haroy. What if she earns more than she needs to produce? We said it's like 5 slime worth of knitting a day. She does 6, and we're talking about with great difficulty. It's Hatzlacha, we call it. She pushed herself. She worked, instead of 8 hours a day, she worked 16 hours a day to make that extra. The Hatzlacha. So that's certainly not his, says Rebbe Kiva. Yofer. Oh, yeah, so the round discusses it. Fine. Rebbe Kiva, there's 2 things that he says. First of all, the hadafa, the extra, whatever she produces, goes to the woman. And Rebbe Kiva also says, yofer. So there's 2 halachas here. You have to, the husband should do hafara, just in case there's a hadafa, and the hadafa goes to the wife, and we don't want to cross, we don't want the husband, I'll explain in a second. Let's say she's supposed to make 5 slime a day, she made 6. There's going to be a problem, how to divide it, and it's going to be fighting and friction all the time. And no, it's a little bit more than this, a little less than this, give me more, give me back. Let's do hafara, let's not have any shalom bayis issues. Well, you start fighting over money is the worst. That's probably the number 1 shalom bayis problem, right? Rebbe Kiva Omer Yofer shemetadef olav Yosef min haroy. Rebbe Yochanan Nuri Omer Yofer. Yes, I agree to the Yofer part of Rebbe Kiva, but for a different reason. Shema yigarshena v'tiyasura olav. In the future, you might come. So look, check this out. This is Rebbe Kiva. This is Rebbe Yochanan Nuri. It's similar but very different. You have to do hafara, but according to Rebbe Yochanan Nuri, the hadafa goes to the husband. The hadafa goes to the husband. So the problem is that what if right now there's no issue because the hadafa goes to the husband. The issue is in the future. In the future, anything she earns after they get divorced and he wants to take her back, he won't be able to take her back because then the neder will be chal and he won't be able to stay married to her. How could he be married to a woman that can't cook for you, can't clean, can't do anything? Says Omar Shmuel. Halacha ki Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. Says Shmuel that the halacha is like this. You have to do hafara. You have to do hafara. Now, Rebbe Kiva also says you have to do hafara. But the halacha is like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. So the Gemara is going to be done. What exactly did Shmuel mean? Did Shmuel mean the red part, which is also Rebbe Kiva says the same thing, but Shmuel says no. The halacha is like Rabbi Yochanan ben Nuri. The Shmuel say that the dove goes to the husband. It's a big problem. Why? We're talking about future earnings. What a wife is going to earn in 10 years from now when you divorce her. Yeah. A guy was here 2 days ago. He wanted me to record him, the message to my wife. And he started talking and he started crying. He was married for 42 years and he got divorced. 42 years. There's such a thing. So it could be literally in the future, in the very, very far future. No, I want to thank my wife for the chizik. Anyway, so he was sitting here, one of the guests. In the very long future, 42 years from now, she's going to earn money, and that money she's answering on the husband, and that's why the husband should make a hafara today. That's davar shalei b'laylam. En l'cha davar shalei b'laylam gadol mizeh. Because in 42 years from now, earnings, maybe she will earn, maybe she won't be alive, maybe. Elamai, you see that Adam, Makdish davar shalei b'laylam, she has the right to answer those earnings on her husband in 42 years from now. Vermini, but we know differently. It's interesting because I saw an interesting shayla of Dav Shaloi Balaylam. A guy, it's this real question that happened. A guy in the concentration camps, like in one of the DP camps, I think, not the guy, he didn't like the way the barber was trimming his beard. So he said, you're never going to touch my beard. You made a neder, you don't touch my beard. And he went to another barber, but then that barber got deported, so he's stuck. So the shayla is, could he go back to the original barber? He said, on neder, you're never touching my beard. You know what the problem is? It's davar shalei b'laylam. It's here that didn't exist. How could he make a isser on here? That interesting shayla. Okay. Huh?
It did exist.
Oh, so one of the Rabbanim, Rabbi Epstein said that he made a neder on his shin, on his face that has this, but it's lashon b'nei adam.
The roots are there, the same roots.
Oh, and he goes into the whole Gemara. Is it the root that grows further? But the root is there. But what comes out? What comes out?
The same root.
But what came out is brand new. Your nail is brand new.
So
what?
Trim the part that's already out.
And the next part. 3 weeks later, it's a different part. The root stays. It's the part that doesn't exist. Okay, fine. It's stamashayim. Okay. Says the Gemara, Vermini, Amakdish Maisi de Ishtoi. Hareza Oisa Vechelas. Daf Amud Beis. If a person says that everything my wife earns is going to be hegdish, the halacha is that she could earn money and use it and support herself. It belongs to the husband. Again, the husband says everything my wife earns is going to the Beis HaMikdash. She could ignore it, take it, and use it for her own stuff. Why? So the Ran goes in 2 reasons. The famous one is a woman could say, "Eini nizonis ve'eini oisa, eini oisa ve'eini nizonis ve'eini oisa." I'm going to support myself. I'm a lawyer. I make more money than you. You don't have to support me. Don't do any taivas. I'll take my money. I'll support myself. That's the case over here. Or the husband doesn't have enough money. Okay. Sponsors Greg Haber for Beracha, Parnassa, Hatzlacha, for the entire family and everyone learning the Daf, Latzlacha, for the members of the HBA Group and their families. I just want to tell you real quickly, because today is Rabbi Sachar Meir's Yartzeit, the Rosh Yeshiva in the Yeshivat HaNegev. And he says there's a famous story where he says, it has to do with our sugi a little bit, that when he came to Eretz Yisrael with his family, his father suddenly was nifter. So he's left by himself. And he was a young kid, and who's going to support the family? So he wanted to go work. So his sister said, no, you're going to yeshiva, I'm going to go work in a pardes. She started picking oranges. And many years later, he said, his Torah, Rosh Yeshiva, because of his sister. Maisi Yadayim of the sister. Anyway. So the Neshama should have an aliyah. Our very chashav and Hasan Al-Gans, who doesn't watch the shir, so he won't even see this, he's a big talmud of his. Okay. I have to throw him on the bus. He's the only guy that we know from this entire thing that doesn't do the shir. Once in a while, he does the emails. Zog the Gemara. Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Sachar Meir, Rabbi Meir Oime Hegdish. So the Ran, I'll just tell you real quickly what the Ran says here. Basically, he gives her, this guy is giving his wife, is supporting his wife, but he doesn't give her a ma. You see, we learn all these musagim more and more every day. In order to get the hadafa, the extras, you probably remember this from Ksubas, you have to give a little bit more than mezainis, you have to give her a ma. But daddy doesn't give her. So if he doesn't give her the ma, he can't afford it, whatever, he never gave her the ma. So he loses the hadafa. So what are we talking about? Sorry, did I just say vahamoiser? I missed the word. Vahamoiser means it's a new sugya, a new thing. Vahamoiser means that if somebody was magdish the moiser, a person is magdish the hadafa. She is supposed to earn 5 sela a day. She earned 6. He says from 5 to 6, I'm giving to the Beis HaMikdash. Hegdish. So when is it hegdish? It's not his. It's not his. Why is it not his? Because he doesn't give her the ma. Oh, so the Ran says when she dies. When she dies, it becomes his. He yarshins her. And now he's saying it should become hegdish. So it's hegdish. But what do you see from here? What is this called? Magdish davar shalei b'laylam. And so Rameir says, "Give me magdish davar shalei b'laylam." Rabbi Yochanan Sad loimer chulin. So here we have a machlek. Rabbi Yochanan Sad says, "No, ain't no magdish davar shalei b'laylam. You can't." So we have a problem here. On the one hand, V'amar Shmuel halacha Rabbi Yochanan Sandler, big problem. Shmuel himself, who started off the sugya, saying that Adam Magdish Davar Shalei B'Laylam, that Yofer, a person has to annul his wife's nether. Why? Because they might get divorced in 42 years, and he won't be able to remarry her then. Why? Because all her earnings are going to be hegdish. that's davar shlei b'laylam, and he says it's a problem. Adam magdish davar shlei. And also over here, he passes like Rechon and Sam that says, Ein Adam magdish davar shlei b'laylam. What do we do? Am ein Adam magdish davar shlei b'laylam. Oh, so now that we have this chart over here, it's Givaldik. Maybe when Shmuel Paskins, all he says is halacha like Rabbi Menuri. Maybe he wasn't talking about the red, he was talking about the blue. He wasn't talking about Yofer, which is the simple pshat in the Mishnah. He was talking about something else called hadafa. Who's hadafa? Hadafa goes to the husband and not to the wife, like Rabbi Kiva says. Says the Gemara. That's a big problem. But what would he hold in Hafara? In Hafara, he hold you don't have to be Mefer. Why? Because I'm not worried about what's going to happen after the divorce, and who knows how long. Says Gemara. So that doesn't make sense. Why? Because first of all, be very specific. Since this, if you're not going to tell me it's a blanket halacha, halacha is like Rabbi Menuri in two things, in Hadafa and Yofer. So explain yourself. I don't have Ruach HaKodesh what you meant. When you said halacha is like Rabbi Menuri, you should say, no, not in all of it, not in the Yofer part, only in the Hadafa part. It's like you didn't say that. You said halacha is like Rabbi Menuri. I'm going to understand. You mean even that you have to be Mefer, and it's a problem because they know the Makdish Davar Shalei Bala. Inami, another thing you could have said, halacha Tanakama. If you're only talking about Hadafa, that it goes to that's the Tanakama. That's exactly the sheet of the Tanakama. Inami, ein halacha Rabbi Kiva. You could say this. The halacha is not like this. In other words, the halacha is not a Yofer. This accomplishes two things here. When I tell you the halacha is not like Rabbi Kiva, so number one, Rabbi Kiva says Yofer. The halacha is lo Yofer. That fits beautifully into ein adam makdish davar shalei b'laylam. And also, if you're telling me that we're only talking about hadafa here, and the hadafa goes to the husband, the halacha is not like Rabbi Kiva. Rabbi Kiva says the hadafa goes to the woman. Not like Rabbi Kiva means the hadafa goes to the husband. So I accomplished two things here. By saying the halacha is not like Rabbi Kiva, then I know everything. Nothing's left out. But if I say, right, the opposite of Yofer is lo Yofer. The opposite of Leisha is to the Baal. But if I say that halacha is like Rabbi Ben Nuri, and only in part of what Rabbi Ben Nuri says, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound good. Hello, Rav Yosef. So, what do? We have a contradiction in Shmuel. Shmuel on the one hand says the halacha is like Rabbi Yochanan Sandler that ain't other makdish davar shalei b'laylam. In our Mishnah, he says the halacha is like Rabbi Ben Nuri that other makdish davar shalei b'laylam. Hello, Rav Yosef. Shani Kernamis. We have a sugi here. There was who was it? Rabbi Fall Shmulevitz in Shas Yidin asked the Shas Yidin, the 100 guys that know Shas, he asked them, where in Shas is there a sugya that repeats itself word for an entire daf? And the answer is this sugya right here. We learned this word for word in Ksubas, and there's another sugya like that in Nazar. If anybody has more, let me know, but that's what they came up with, the Shas Yidin. Hello, Rav Yosef. Shani Konamois Hoyel Va'adam Oyser Peirois Chaveri Olav Oyser Nami Davar Shlei B'Laylam. Basically, what he's saying is that Hegdish and Koinem are very different. I have the ability. I have to accomplish one of two things. I could either answer myself or I could answer fruit. I have to be able to do one of the two things. So since I'm able to answer my fruit on my friend, the Ran explains that's similar to Davar Shalei B'Laylam. I'm asking my fruit on somebody else. That's Davar Shalei B'Laylam. Hoyel va'adam oyser peres chaveri olav. Since I can answer my friend, not me, somebody else, oyser nami Davar Shalei B'Laylam. Olav. Amalei Abaya. Bishleim adam oyser peres chaveri olav. Sharia adam oyser peres v'chaveri. So Abaya says, wait a minute. We need at least one out of two things. Either fruit has to be here, or the person. I could answer your fruit on myself. That's me, I'm here. I could answer my fruit on you, because my fruit are here. It's either me or my fruit. But one of those two things have to be in the world. What's our case over here? Our case over here is the woman is answering her earnings that don't exist yet on somebody else called her husband. So it's like me answering your fruit on my other friend. It's too many things away. You need at least one thing to exist. Either it's your fruit or it's you. Not his fruit on him. And what she's doing here is his fruit on him. It's something that doesn't exist yet on her husband. Hello. You know what? We could stop over here. 8:05. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.